Um, Hello, everyone. Today I've got the honor and the privilege of chatting to the head of the music department at D.H.S, Natalie Rungan. And it is a great honor to catch up and chat to you. Morning, Natalie. How are you?
Morning, Andrew. I'm really well, thank you. And what a privilege it is to do this with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, it's my pleasure. And as I said, it's really an honor to catch up with you. Natalie, if you can maybe just tell us about the Chris Seabrook Music Center at D.H.S. and at this stage what facilities they offer.
Okay, so, in my humble opinion, I really believe that the Music Center is one of the most exclusive facilities in the school that makes us a destination school. The facilities are brand new. We like 4 years since we first launched the Music Center. And Chris Seabrook obviously put a lot of money and support behind us launching this and establishing this venue. So, in the venue itself, we have practice rooms that are pretty much modeled after practice rooms in music conservatoires and specifically the UKZN's music department because that's where we hail from. And the practice rooms have pianos or keyboards, they have drum kits, they have just open spaces. One of them has computers for our boys to work on. And next door to my office is a project studio where senior music students can come in and record and just play around with musical ideas. And then next to me is our auditorium, which is one of the best auditoriums that I've seen in any school. It seats about 80 to 90 people. It has a baby grand piano, full guitar, bass amps, and a drum kit. And for me, it's the best venue to come in as a group because we call it a plug and play venue. Basically, you just get here, plug in your instruments, and you play. You don't have to carry any equipment with you. There's no instruments really that you have to get. So as a facility for doing what we're doing with these young men, it's phenomenal because you would never get this in any school. And I think one of the things that we're really grateful for is we have the support not just of the foundations but of the headmaster for this facility to be used by our students.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as you mentioned earlier, it is named the Chris Seabrook Music Center, and as we know, he's a wonderful person that has supported the arts, the drama, the music, and the culture at DHS, and we can be ever so grateful for his support. Um, and as I said, and we both agree what a wonderful person he is. Natalie, you and I have chatted, and you've mentioned to me the other day that it's all good and well having the facilities, but if you don't have the program to go with the facilities, then it's never really going to work. So if you can just let us know more about the program that you offer for the boys at DHS.
Sure. So when we were setting up the music center, I had very clear visions of what we wanted to do with both the facilities and the programs that we would run for the boys that came here to use this. And I remember that you weren't here at that time, but when we first started, this was supposed to be used for extramural or extracurricular after school. And one of the things I found from going around is that because of these facilities, we were able to offer it music that is as a matric subject, so as a fully fledged exam subject. So we built and modeled around that. So when a boy comes in from grade 8, we're gearing like you would gear for any vocation from grade 8 right until matric. What do you want to do? So the program itself, there's two streams of it. One is an academic stream and one is a cultural stream. For the academic stream, if we find that on an audition that we do every single year with entries into grade 8, that there's some sort of musical talent, ability, or even a spark of it, we grab those students and we say, well, just try it for your grade 8 and grade 9, and we just put an instrument in their hands. So that's what makes this program special. It's not singing and it's not just piano. It's any instrument that they want, and we have a classical stream, a jazz stream, and a rock and pop stream. Because in 2020, in the 21st century, our children are not listening to music that we or our grandparents listened to when we were younger. They're listening to stuff on East Coast radio, on CDs, on Netflix. And we've got to find ways of attracting them with something that makes sense to them. So the programs are very flexible for whoever we draw in. And one of the things that I loved is when we brought in the first batch of grade 8s who are now in grade 11, we decided that, we'd take them to the Grahamstown Festival in their second year just to expose them to what the other schools were doing around the country. And when I came back, to my absolute delight, the boys were knocking on my door and saying to me, "Ma'am, can we start a jazz band?" Now, I'm a jazz musician, so I've never told them do jazz and imposed that on them, but kind of left it to them to figure it out. And one of the reasons, Andrew, was because when we were there were a bunch of girls and they were playing jazz. And I promise you, they played these boys under the table. And as ego would go, these boys came back and thought, never again, we're not allowing this to happen. So we formed the jazz band. And last year, when Chris was here, we actually celebrated our third birthday. And after very, very short space of time, they've been playing for about 1.5 years together in what we call a mini jazz band and big band. So they play big band jazz like we would hear in the 1950s. These boys love the music and they're playing it. And Chris was astounded because they were playing on their own. There wasn't any teacher playing with them to supplement them. They were playing drums, guitar, saxophones, trumpets, trombones, and piano. It's all together and playing music that's very difficult. And that's I think it's one of our trademarks as a school, that we have a jazz band and we have a school jazz band, and one of its kind in this area. So boys can do that. We've got another program that we run as a cultural program, which is the Drumline, and you would have heard them at rugby games, and they've just grown from strength to strength. We have a really, really extraordinary teacher, Bruce Baker, who's well known in KZN as a jazz drummer and a rock drummer. So he teaches them, and I found that the life of music in the school has just added to these boys. They've found confidence in themselves that they've never had, and they do music now with an intention. Some of them may never do it after school, but our plan was that if the boy did music from grade 8 right until grade 12, then when they left here, they'd be at least until grade 6 or 7 of music. Now that's above the requirement for entry into any university, both nationally and internationally. So what we're giving them is just tools, and we keep reinforcing that we don't want them necessarily to have a career in music, but we want to have the tool in their hand. So for example, we have a very, very bright grade 11 in the non-Parel class, Mika Cruiser, who he has perfect pitch. He's a classical pianist. And we said to him, "Mika, we don't expect you to actually be a professional pianist because you are really gifted in sciences and maths, and you're probably going to go in that direction." And I said to him, "But imagine if you are a physicist and you get up in one of these lectures, and instead of doing the traditional lecture that a physicist would do, you use music because it's your tool of communication and it's something that you express thoughts in." And I saw his eyes light up, because I think what we've been able to do through the program is get children to acknowledge differences and embrace passion inside of them. So if they can apply that to music, my belief is they can apply that to every facet of life and every area of life, because we've tapped into a very vital aspect of our development as human beings, which is passion and drive and just commitment to something. So those are programs. In addition, we are a registered Trinity Marking Center, which means basically if one of our boys want to do external exams through Trinity or ABRSM, our facilities have met the requirements of Trinity as a marking center. So they will send their markers through and our boys can do the exams right here at the Chris Seabrook Music Center.
Yeah, and thanks so much. I've been witness to a couple of your lunchtime concerts where the boys have played, and
yes,
and I was very surprised of how many staff and how many boys attended. In fact, I think the one day, it was just prior to lockdown, at the auditorium, as you say, next door to your office, there was full, and it was really a privilege to watch these boys play. And what I also noticed is that often we look at the arts, drama, and culture and music, and we just think it's for a specific group of boy. But what I noticed when I came to watch one of those concerts is a couple of the boys that played on musical instruments and piano happened to be top class sportsmen as well at D.H.S.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we don't propagate be music and just music. We are saying balance. You have to have a balance in life. Don't just do one thing because and especially because it is academic and cultural. So they have a choice.
Yeah.
So, and we, if you see us, anybody is welcome to come see us in the week. So one of the things we do as a form of, if they don't do my homework, because I want them to keep fit. Being fit in your body is very much a part of how we express ourselves as musicians, because it's a body art. It's not externally just expressed. So we have Top Field right next to the music auditorium. So they get to do laps around the top field, and we give them music exercises, because it's something that we're saying, play a sport. Don't just do music and be here after school, but play a sport. Play something that is going to keep you fit, is going to activate your muscle groups, and help you develop in that way. So we want balanced children. We don't just want sport children or music children or art children or drama children. I think that's what makes DHS for me such a unique school, is you able to, when you come in, it's like you spoiled for choice. You can go in all these directions and not have a situation where you're forced to choose, do I do this? I mean, Samuel Spooner, who was in grade 11 this year, as you would know,
Yes.
he's a top water polo athlete.
Yeah.
But he's a phenomenal drummer. He's not just an average drummer, he's a phenomenal drummer. And his dad and I often have conversations, and I say to him, Paul, I don't know what you're going to do with this child, because he's just multi-talented. He's not just one, and he's academically, very, very astute. So I think that's what makes DHS special, is you're able to find those individual talents within the child, and develop them and embrace them.
Yeah, and I think and I think that's important, and I think it's important for people to know, as you say, not only about the facility, about the program, and it's not only directed to boys that are talented in music, but a general all round student. And as you mentioned, Samuel Spooner, he was one that came to mind when I asked you the question, and I was there that day that he played the drums, and it was unbelievable. Natalie, moving on, you say that this program has been, it's now grade 8 and you've got your boys in grade 11. Tell us how this program's grown over the last 4 years since you started it.
Okay, so when we started, we piloted it with 20 grade 8 boys, which is what we take in every single year. And the reason we do 20 is because every single student has, and this is what I know is very specific to Durban High School, because we've developed the program and modeled after a university program where the student doesn't have group lessons, but they have individual tuition. All the teachers that are here, we have now 12 professional music teachers that come in from Monday to Friday that teach these boys. We started with 20 students. Today we have 95 students who are subject music boys. Now that's not extracurricular. That means that they do it as an exam subject, like they would do science, maths, English, Afrikaans. They do music, they get graded on it, they get examined on it, they do performances, and they get grades on it. So, it's very balanced in that way, but also very focused in that way. So we've tried to use our resources as a school to supplement that. So they come in, they play a music levy for the year, but they do professional music training, which develops them at a faster rate. So when we started, Andrew, a lot of these boys who you would have heard in the jazz band right now never picked up an instrument before, like ever. They never read a single note of music. Now these boys, and this is they're in grade 11, so it's their 4th year. They're on grade 5 theory. That is phenomenal to have that growth as quickly as they did. And some of their practical levels far exceed that. So they've just grown faster than we could have anticipated. And it's also because they play a lot of music together. So like you'd play a sport, these boys play together, and the more they play together, the more they develop, the more they grow. And I don't think that the school or the headmaster at that time, Leon Erasmus, saw the potential of the growth to the program where it is right now, because next year every year we take in 20 grade 8s and we grow them. So incidentally, when we first started, we had Quincy Hitler, who's the head boy, that came to me. He was my only grade 9 student when we first started this program. And I didn't even hesitate because I thought, well, I'm going to have one student in a grade 9 class. How do I do this? And I thought, let me give this child the opportunity. And you would see Quincy when he speaks, and music has a lot to do with his confidence levels, with the way he expresses himself, with the leader that he is. And we have well, we had three, but now we have two grade 12s who are doing music. So music at D.H.S goes right from grade 8 to grade 12. So we have our first grade 12 learners who will be sitting for their grade 12 exam this year. So the growth is beyond any expectation. And I think it will. I've told Mr. Pinheiro often. I said, you need to get some more money because this facility is going to be small very soon, because the boys don't have space to practice, because we're basically running lessons from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock, prior to COVID-19 lockdown, of course, every single day with tutors that come in. So it is what's definitely different and special about this program, that we can offer this to these boys.
No, as you say, and it is wonderful to know, because yesterday I chatted to Carolyn Dickinson, who heads up the Cambridge Academy, and there's a lot of things about D.H.S that people don't know, and Cambridge is one in the non-parole program. The music program that you're running, you've educated me, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch this video about the music program that D.H.S is offering. We'll get. I mean, I'm going to get onto that in another chat to Liesel, and the drama department is about the theatre that D.H.S have, and the upgrade of the theatre. So, for me, it is so important that people don't only see D.H.S as a sporting school, but a multicultural, a multi-talented school that doesn't only offer sport and academics, but offers even more to a young boy that is looking for a school and to enhance his talents, let's say in music and drama. And I think it's important for people to know that that D.H.S offers this facility and offers this program.
Yes. So, one of the very encouraging things during the lockdown, as soon as we hit lockdown, because of the relationship we have both with our parents of our students and our students themselves, we as a music department were able to get every single music student onto online platforms and do Zoom lessons and Google Classroom video lessons with them. But what came out of that is we started a competition, and I found that those competitions weekly, I used to give them songs like, Tears for Fears, or pop songs that they could check out on their own. And they would send me videos of themselves playing these things. And I found that in that time, because they were on lockdown for a very, very extended period. And my one concern, it wasn't about practicing, but it was more about becoming demotivated as a teenager. And, who would have guessed that this would have happened in our country, or in the world rather. So music kind of saved them, because I see the light still in them, because they were playing and interacting together, and as they would do in school, they were doing it online. And I was really, really grateful that we'd have established those bonds before we went into lockdown, so that post-lockdown, when we come back, it doesn't really feel like they've been away. Not like in other I think other subjects, it's more apparent because they've been away from each other and that interaction's not there. So music has a way of just bringing people together, and it certainly has done that for our school and for our boys, who find camaraderie. They find common ground with one another, and we really, the facility, you should get some of them and interview some of them, and they'll tell you their own stories, but they've really become a music family. It's not just coming to school. And I know that for a lot of them, these relationships will go way beyond high school. It'll go into their, adulthood, because of these bonds that have been formed between a lot of them. And we're really grateful for that.
Well, I think I'm going to ask you, and you're going to need to share some of those videos with me, so I'm able to share them with the old boys and with the public, and to boast about our music department, and show the people out there that that we have an unbelievable music department. So I'm going to ask you if if you can share those with me, and then I will share them with the people to see, and let's boast our music department and
Thanks, Andrew.
yourself and the teachers. I think that's important. You said to me, I think the figure was about 9 teachers, and I think it's
12.
important, for us to know more about them as well.
You know, we've got such great teachers. We've got about 12 of them, and all of them are colleagues because we play music professionally with them. And our piano teacher in particular, who's working with our senior students, is Dr. Andrew Warburton from UKZN. And he and all our teachers have been amazing with these children, because what they were able to do is send videos to their teachers and have Zoom lessons with their teachers. So the teaching hasn't stopped, even though we weren't able to physically be with them. You know, they've been on their own with them, and the teachers give them feedback on what they need to work on. And even now, I hear it with the students, even though they don't see their teachers in person, I can hear the progress that they're making, because all the teachers that we have on board with us, they really care about these children. They're not just here for a job or something that fills their space and time. It's a commitment that we have from every one of them.
Natalie, first of all, thanks so much for the honor and the privilege of me for chatting to you today. And I just, I'd like to let D.H.S. Old Boys know, and any future parent who's looking at a school and has a talent in music, is how honored and privileged we are as a school to have someone, with your credentials, heading up our music department. As I said to you earlier today, I shared your CV and your biography on Facebook page, and it amazed me to learn more about you and what you've done and what you've achieved in your short in your music career. The songs you've produced, I've attached links for YouTube songs. I've heard you sing, and you've got the most amazing and beautiful voice that I've shared with people. And I know there are a couple of exciting things happening. You mentioned to me the other day about recording a new album, which is really exciting. And I know you said you as soon as it's released, you'd share it with us. But I think from an Old Boys point of view, from the foundation, from the trustees, we're very honored and privileged to have someone as talented as yourself heading up our music department at D.H.S. and may it grow from strength to strength.
Thank you, Andrew. It really is a privilege to be a part of a legacy school, because this is what I see Durban High School as. It's a legacy school. So it's an honor to attach what I've learned over the years to a vision like this. So thank you very much, and thank you for the support.
No, you're welcome. And let me tell people, watch your space, because there's more to come. We're going to share some videos of the boys playing, and not only the boys, but as I said, look at the Facebook page, click on the YouTube link, and listen to Natalie singing, and I'm sure you'll both agree with me that she's a beautiful and wonderful singer. So Natalie, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Only a pleasure, Andrew. Thank you so much. Thank you.